Hello, everybody, and welcome to your friend Gretchen Hidell, full-time astrologer, life coach, Reiki master, and this is This Week in Astrology. I am going to be going over, it's Monday night, our Monday night date. I feel like it's been a while since I went live, and I didn't go live last week, so welcome. If you are just joining, let's see, I'm going live on Instagram now. Welcome. Let's see if this is going to give me problems tonight. If it's not one, it's the other. So welcome everybody who's joining me live. Go ahead and post below your astrological sign. It is This Week in Astrology, the week of June 7th all the way until June 14th. Let me just see here. I'm trying to go live on Instagram as well. Hello, welcome everybody. I think Marianne joined us. I have a couple of other people here live. So I'm going to be going over This Week in Astrology. Hey Courtney, welcome. Taurus in Colchester, Vermont, welcome. Hi everybody on Instagram, welcome. This is Gretchen Hidell, full-time astrologer, life coach, Reiki master, and so much more. And we are going to be going over This Week in Astrology. This is the week of June 7th to June 13th, actually, 2021. Let's see, Marianne said, good to have you back. I didn't go anywhere. I posted my live, or it wasn't a live, it was a pre-recorded video on YouTube. So go ahead and subscribe, Marianne, to YouTube, because I am going to be posting other additional content, not just my Monday night videos, but other additional content. So hello, you're telling followers, it looks like, here on Instagram. Hello everybody, welcome. Pisces, yes, Jennifer, welcome, good to see you. So we're going to be going over this week. There's a lot to cover, so I'm going to be firstly going over the new moon solar eclipse, and that's going to be taking place in Gemini. Okay, I'm going to move my camera here so you guys can I can look at both places at once. And then I'm going to be going over Mars moving into Leo, okay? And then we are going to be approaching, as we go through the weekend and next Monday night, we're going to be approaching the height or the peak of the Saturn Uranus square that's going to be happening. It's really going to be happening all throughout 2021. But it's going to be continuing to go. So if you guys are just joining me, please share the video. Sharing the video is very important because that also helps to get people to be able to say hi and subscribe because this is big information that we're going to be talking about. So welcome everybody who joined. So the beginning of this week on June 7th, 8th, 9th is going to be relatively quiet. We start the week with the moon in Taurus. So it went into Taurus yesterday on Sunday. Monday and Tuesday it's going to be in Taurus. So the first couple days the moon's going to be a little bit more grounded, somewhat more grounded. Hey Monica, welcome. How did you guys do last week with that Mars Pluto opposition? I recorded that on my video last week on YouTube if you guys had a chance to see that. But the Mars Pluto opposition was a bear. And I don't mean a cute, cuddly, snuggly bear. I mean a, growling, big claws, big fangs kind of a bear. Mars opposed Pluto is a very difficult astrological, it's kind of a dreaded sort of astrological thing. And so that took place last week and over the weekend. Okay. So, Mars opposed Pluto was heavy. So I don't know if any of you guys, had experienced any of that grumpiness, anger, resentment, frustration. I mean, all the big stuff, spitefulness. I mean, it was that kind of energy. I myself am an Aries, and Mars is the ruler of Aries, and then Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio. So that was really, those two signs, and Mars was in Cancer and Pluto was in Capricorn. So really all of the signs were all those signs were sort of caught up in the grumpiness of this, event. Wendy said, yeah, I snapped at my mother. Yeah, I mean, I kind of snapped at my mom too. By the way, my mom's on. Sorry, Mom, Virgo in Colorado. She knows. She's like, Mars opposed Pluto. She was like, mm-hmm. Both of her children this weekend, I heard, were quite grumpy. Brother Light, hey, welcome. If you're joining live on Instagram, go ahead and say hi. Courtney said, you blame the energy of Mercury retrograde. Yeah, poor Mercury retrograde didn't really have much to do with that grumpy McGrumpsters. I've had everything in my house that's pertaining to gas, fire, explosions, breaking down. I had emergency contractors at my house. I had it's been crazy. And interestingly enough, I talked to my next door neighbor who's also in Aries, and she also had not one, but two of her hot water heaters died. So it was just really weird. Like I have all this kind of stuff going on with my fire appliances. So that's not really good. And currently I'm kind of living sort of without hot water. So good times. So that's like a Mercury retrograde combined. Gas and explosions is definitely the Mars and Pluto stuff for sure. So that was going on last week and into the weekend. Now it's going to remain active roughly until tomorrow is like really the peak of it. So it's going to be kind of coming down a little bit. Just a little bit, dissipating. We'll still be in Mercury retrograde, of course, but that is kind of, Marianne said, I'm an Aries and I had a flat tire. Yeah, I mean, us Aries, Scorpios, Cancers, Capricorns, we're in ground zero. Everybody could have been affected, but those signs were like at the heart of this energy, and it was really contentious energy. So hopefully we all grounded and we're feeling a little more peaceful now. But it takes a little while for that one to dissipate. That one's active for way over a week. And so the peak of it was on Saturday. So just so that you guys know. And again, you would know that if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I did post all that on my YouTube. KKT Wombly said, yes, I was not a fun person to be with on Instagram. Hey, Pioneer. Hey, welcome. Osprey 245, I think that's how you say it, I'm not sure, says it does explain the weird feelings. You're a Taurus. Hey, welcome. Yeah, Jane Moon Wolf said, wishing you safety and things getting calmer. Yeah, it's been a little cray-cray. Monica said, no hot water, 2 different days where Iris lives. Oh my gosh, yes, and Iris is an Aries. This is so weird. I don't know what's going on with Aries and hot water heaters, but I mean, it's been... So yeah. Anyway, we'll just keep going. But I can take like a tiny shower, which is, thank God, I'm really appreciating hot water now more than I ever have in my whole life. We'll just say that. So then this week starts out, like I said, in that more grounded Taurus energy. Then tomorrow in the afternoon, almost 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, 2:47 exactly. It switches into Gemini. So that's gonna be on the 8th, the 9th Gemini moon, and then the 10th Gemini moon is going to be the solar eclipse. It's a new moon solar eclipse. So remember, just whatever it was 2 weeks ago, we had the full moon lunar eclipse. Now we're having the solar eclipse. Usually eclipses come in pairs, and what determines what sign the eclipses are gonna be in are actually the nodes of the moon. So the nodes of the moon for the next roughly 18 months are going to reside full time in Gemini, Sagittarius, Gemini, Sagittarius, Gemini, Sagittarius. So every time there's an eclipse, it's going to be Gemini, Sagittarius, Gemini, Sagittarius. So if you are a Gemini or you're Sagittarius, for the next 18 months, you're going to be at the heart of the transformation and the transformative energy that's going to be taking place. So we're going to have another set of eclipses coming up in Sagittarius season. See how it works? So, and that's going to be roughly November, between November and Christmas. So hey everybody who's joining, welcome. Hey Hans. Oh no, total internet breakdown and X. Ugh. Did you break up? Here's my question. I'm sorry I'm getting personal, but I'm going to go there. Did you break up during recently with the ex? I'm just curious because if it was a recent then there could be, there's something I want to say about that, because we shouldn't be breaking up. We shouldn't be going out with new people during Mercury retrograde, and we shouldn't be breaking up with people during Mercury retrograde, because whatever happens in Mercury retrograde is going to change. So that's basically what happens. So if you really want the breakup to last and you don't want to get back together with an ex, then you got to watch that breaking up during the Mercury retrograde thing. Oh no, Monica said currently independent internet lapses in the live video. I don't, has anybody else, on my end it looks like I'm normal. My video is normal, but if anybody else has seen that, Han said the F word. So yep, that's basically what the deal is. Oh no, Katrina said Friday was the pits. Leo husband and Sagittarius bumbled around all day on Friday. Yeah, so there's just a lot of stuff going on. So that's basically what the deal is. Somebody said the video looks okay. Wendy said the video looks good. So okay, Hans said no, the X situation did not happen during Mercury retrograde. Phew, that's good. Okay, because we don't want to break up. I know that it sounds kind of strange or, you know, superstition, but really that's what the deal is. When Mercury goes retrograde, Mercury has been retrograde May 29th all the way until June 22nd, just to let you know. And the last full moon, supermoon, was on the 26th, okay, of May. So now we're getting into, so this is going to be on Thursday, the 10th, June 10th, Thursday. And the height of it, the peak of the new moon is going to be, early risers. It's going to be 6:53 a.m. Eastern time. So 3:53 a.m. if you're out on the West Coast, Pacific Standard Time. So that's basically what the deal is, okay? So it's going to be happening overnight. So we won't be able to see the solar eclipse. I don't think from this particular solar eclipse that you'll be able to see it, but it doesn't matter. In astrology, eclipses are very big deals. Why? Because the one planet cuts the other planet's energy off just for a second, okay? And it's like rebooting a computer. So remember what I was saying about the full moon, supermoon, lunar eclipse, okay, that happened a couple weeks ago. Now we're getting into the new moon, Gemini, and it's not going to be a supermoon. It's not going to be all that kind of stuff. So I personally think that this one is going to be nicer. That last full moon, supermoon, lunar eclipse, blood moon, okay, there was a massacre, a big massacre in the United States. So we don't want that energy. Full moon, because that was like full moon on steroids. So the new moon is going to be, I think, nicer. Now on the same day, that night, on the same night, on June 10th, on Thursday, the sun is going to form a conjunction with Mercury retrograde. There's always a point in Mercury retrograde where the sun and Mercury kind of do this, and they sort of swap places. So Mercury is always traveling very close to the sun, just to let you know. It's always within one sign of the sun. It never goes any further than that. So it's always going to be within those 3 signs that Mercury is. So Mercury kind of goes ahead of the sun sometimes, it goes behind the sun sometimes. And what happens during Mercury retrograde, there's always one point where the sun and Mercury meet up, and then Mercury falls behind the sun. And that's basically what's going to be happening on June 10th. So that's the deepening point of Mercury retrograde. That's like where we know that we're getting deeper and deeper into the retrograde, and then Mercury is really falling behind and slowing down and feeling a little clunky and wonky and all that. And actually, I noticed, I've been watching these trends for years and years and years. And that's what astrology is about watching trends and sort of making predictions and saying, well, that happened this year, so this will happen this year. That's basically how we do it in astrology. I've been watching these trends, and usually that's when the Mercury retrograde, it deepens and we get further into the retrograde, but also it's really where people get bored, stuck, like they feel really, that's where, like, you know, in the beginning when everything starts breaking and all this stuff starts happening, I'm having more and more people saying like, oh my god, this broke and that broke. Hey Sheila, welcome from Arizona, love that. So this is where basically it gets even more deep and more intense, but then it slows down to the point where people go, nothing's happening, I can't make anything happen, I'm bored, I'm stuck, nothing's going anywhere. Well, that's why it got even deeper and further and more like kind of like slower than the sun. So it's behind the sun, it's okay, and that's going to happen on the same day as this solar eclipse. Now, in every solar eclipse, the sun and the moon are in the same astrological sign, and in this day it's going to be Gemini, 19 degrees Gemini. Okay, so if you're born this week, if this is your birthday, hey, happy birthday, if that's the your birthday, and if it is your birthday, shout out so that we can all sing you happy birthday. J Moon Wolf said, very unusual stuff, fixing a broken computer, oh no, stepping on a nail, oh my gosh, toddler shenanigans, she said. Yeah, I mean, it's very wonky sort of energy. So and then Mercury retrograde is also in Gemini. Okay, so now Mercury retrograde is going to be 19 degrees, the sun is going to be 19 degrees, and the moon is going to be 19 degrees. So it's almost like we're having a triple conjunction. Okay, I haven't seen any memes coming out about this. I should probably create one, but there is going to be a big triple conjunction between these three planets in the sky on that day. So that'll be pretty kind of cool. It won't be exact because the solar eclipse is taking place at 3:53 a.m. Eastern time. The Sun-Mercury conjunction is going to be taking place at 9:13 p.m. Eastern time. So it is going to be just a little, it won't be an exact lineup. It'll be more like kind of like this, just a little apart. But that doesn't matter. Okay, again, in astrology, we're looking at the energy of Gemini. Where is Gemini in your astrological chart in order to know where you will be affected? But if you know what house Gemini is in, you'll kind of have an idea. Now, let's say you don't know what house it is in. If you are an air sign, okay, you will be definitely feeling extra air. So you're going to be Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. Okay, those are all the air signs. If you are a mutable sign, okay, so Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces, those are all going to be affected as well. So you'll definitely be feeling this, and especially if you have any kind of planets at 19 degrees, those, I know I'm getting really advanced there, but Brother Light, so you found out Lilith is in your 9th house. So is your Lilith in Gemini? Because you said Gemini is your 9th house. So yeah, and Wendy said 2nd house, you're an Aquarius. Hey, Waleska. Wow, welcomes from Nicaragua. Waleska and I graduated from life coaching school together. Hypnosis, life coaching, and a bunch of other certifications that we got when we were in school together. So welcome. I have a great picture of her on my memories, on my Facebook memories. But anyway, so it depends on where this energy is. How do you get along with Gemini? Even if you're like, okay, I don't know any of that stuff, but how do you get along with Gemini? If you have a lot of Geminis in your life, then yeah, and you maybe do get along with them, or you maybe don't get along with them, that's good to know also, because this energy might be bumpy for you if that's the case, if you don't get along with them. If you get along with Geminis, like Gemini is my area of friendships, and I have a ton of Gemini friends. So yeah, so 9th house is travel, education, just kind of like aspirations for other lands and seeing different things. If you have relatives, okay, living away from you or apart from you in another location, like a long distance, that's the 9th house, brother. So you might end up hearing about those people, or you just might want to, kind of be a seeker, explorer, like, in your mind and whatever. So Tara said Gemini in the 12th. That one is an uncomfortable position, I'll just be honest, because having the sun there and a solar eclipse and Mercury and all that, this is your time of year to rest, restore, rejuvenate. When I say it's uncomfortable, A lot of people want to be able to go out and do different things, and this is more of a resting time and rejuvenating. Wendy Martin said second house, that's money, honey. So second house is money. You gotta make your money, Wendy. And I know that you're doing those farmers markets. Keep going, keep going. Waleska said Gemini in the fifth house. Okay, so fifth house is love, creativity, and children. So you're going to be able to maybe get some romance going if you're in the market. Katrina said Gemini ascendant. Oh wow, well you're right in the heart of it. So if you have Gemini moon, sun, Venus, I don't care, whatever, Mercury, you're going to be feeling all this extra super duper. So Wendy said sweet, and you're doing really well at the farmers market. I have no doubt, Wendy, that necklace you made was beautiful that you sent me. So I also what kind of rebooting, if you guys remember on May 26th, what kind of rebooting did you go through on that full moon? See, remember, full moons are about losing something, purging something, getting rid of something. But this is a new moon on steroids. So this is extra super duper duper duper, okay, for manifesting. This is the prime time to manifest, 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 manifest. I want to talk law of attraction here because we need to be able to come up with some good manifestation stuff. This is a really, really powerful new moon to manifest, even though it's Mercury retrograde. I don't care about that. With Mercury additional there, plus Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So it's all going to be plugged in. It's going to be Gemini, 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 Mercury, Gemini, Mercury. And it's going to all this stuff. So we're going to be talking, speaking, communicating, orating, writing, sales, pitches, any kind of thing. Now, of course, unfortunately, Gemini and Mercury do tend to be technology, and they do tend to be, okay, breaking down of vehicles and different computer type technology things. But it's a perfect time for manifesting. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So, oh my gosh, Teresa, you said your Mercury is 19 degrees Gemini. We'll see. Teresa gets the prize for tonight for being in the very heart of the situation. So, so your Mercury is your brain, your thinking, and your speaking. Okay, so definitely we're going to go throat chakra on this one big time, even though I'm wearing my Buddha rose quartz that somebody bought for me when they were in Bali, which is really awesome, my friend. But see, you want to think about your throat chakra, any kind of thing that you're really just, kind of communicating, and that you're kind of, speaking your truth and all of that type of stuff. That is what the deal is. Now, the Archangel for Gemini is Zedekiel. And Zedekiel was considered to be the mercy of God, okay? I mean, that's basically what Zedekiel's job is. Zedekiel is all about mercy, forgiveness, and memory. Okay, I had to look at my list because what is Zedekiel? Oh, memory. Duh. Just saying. So it's about remembering details. It's remembering your life, your childhood. It's past lives. So if you want to do any kind of past life travel type of stuff, that's Zedekiel. If you need help, Zedekiel, kind of, how do I say this? Archangels, really, some people don't really assign gender to them. They're sort of the original they, them, okay, because angels are considered to be sort of genderless. And so Zedekiel is good for finding lost items, just like Saint Anthony, you say that little prayers to Saint Anthony. Well, Zedekiel is if you lose your keys or you misplace something, you can call upon Archangel Zedekiel. And the reason why I'm talking about this, if you're just joining, I have all of a sudden a ton of people are just joining, is because Gemini is associated with Archangel Zedekiel. So you might want to be able to say a prayer if you have a family member with dementia or Alzheimer's. Zedekiel is somebody to kind of say a prayer to about that. And it's about forgiveness. If you forget, if you're kind of, and we're talking a lot about Yes, Hans, androgynous, basically. They're like sort of genderless. So if you're having problems, like, so we're talking about manifesting, right? If you're having problems remembering, kind of like you lost your way, you forgot your life purpose, you forgot your reason for living. I mean, I know that's kind of intense, but if you kind of forgot, like, why am I here? What am I supposed to do with my life? I mean, a lot of us, I think, felt that way in 2020, not in a suicidal sort of way, but in a way that's like, what am I doing here? I'm just sitting inside for a whole year. Like, this sucks, you know? So if you're having trouble with that and you've lost your way, call upon Zedekiel. Zedekiel will help you to remember your life purpose, will help you to remember your reason for being on the planet, and why you know, kind of incarnated, while you were here. And so Zedekiel is very, very powerful and very good for that Gemini energy. And Zedekiel actually is good for forgiveness too. So like if you're having trouble, you're feeling angry, or you're feeling bitter, or you're feeling resentment. I mean, we just Mars opposed Pluto. Okay, we just went through all that last weekend. If you're angry at somebody, or bitter with somebody, or feeling vengeful or something, ask for Archangel Zedekiel to help you to forgive. I mean, forgiveness, or forgiving yourself. You know, sometimes we forget about compassion. We need to give ourselves compassion. So that's Archangel Zedekiel. Okay, so that's associated with this Gemini energy. So Gemini, that's your ruling archangel, and that is the archangel that is there to help you. Yeah, Monica, I think your internet is on your end, because a couple of people said that the connection seemed okay, and on my end it looks okay. So Holly said Gemini is in your 8th and 9th houses, so you're kind of like brother light, where it's 9th house, which is the travel, higher education, learning, foreign lands. Now 8th house is a very different house, so you need to know kind of which house it's in. But 8th house is the house of sex, other people's money, and death. And it can be past, you know, kind of mediumship stuff. Wendy said, boy, I could use a man in my life. Yeah, you got to put that on your manifestation list. So Hans said, yeah, this is exactly how I feel. So I'm sorry about that. But that's kind of like what the deal is. There was something here, interested with Lilith. Yeah, tending to choose drama after a lapsed relationship, staying away from relationships, not trusting your choices. Well, oh my goodness, we could talk about that. But yeah, you gotta trust yourself. It's hard, especially sometimes we have a life lesson and it's like we date the same person, different name, different face, but it's like the same problem or situation, or there's like a theme that's very common. That means there's a wound going on that needs to be healed somewhere, and you're attracting maybe a wound mate instead of a soul mate or a life partner. Anybody else experience that, where you date the same sort of type of person? Wendy said you've been told you have a broken picker. Well, I call that the broken picker syndrome. Yes, so how will the eclipse affect us? So this is about rebooting a computer. We have eclipses. It's normal to have, like, I think it's anywhere between 2 and 6, something like that, eclipses a year. So we're going to have, I think, 4 or 5 this year. I have to look, but basically that's what the deal is. So with eclipses, it's like rebooting the energy, and we're going to manifest, okay, hopefully something new. So depending on where this new rebooting is in your astrological chart, that's where we can sort of reboot the computer. Now, you know what I said from the last time 2 weeks ago. Sometimes when you unplug a computer, or you turn your computer off in hopes that it's going to come back on again, sometimes it doesn't. And so if you're trying to reboot something, sometimes it doesn't come back on. Sometimes it's done. And sometimes eclipses will clear things out. I'll just say that. Eclipses in astrology are extremely, extremely powerful. And they're considered to be a very powerful time. Like I said, it's a very powerful time to manifest something new in your life, okay? Because of the fact that it has that rebooting kind of energy, and they're very aligned right now. So that's something to be said. You know, I had one time, I always tell this story, but I had an eclipse go on in my area of friendships, and out of nowhere, during one of these eclipses, the rebooting time, the person sought me out, found me, like we had fallen out of touch. We had like a little, not an argument, but we just like had this like disagreement, and the person came back and said, you know what, I'm sorry, I treated you unfairly. And basically that's what the deal is. So, and I apologize, and I want to be back in your life. So I was like, okay, you know, I mean, that's really cool. So again, and I think it was in Gemini, it was many years ago. So anyway, I think that's a beautiful and powerful way of looking at these eclipses. They're not necessarily negative. Really, the full moon eclipse is more hardcore, the lunar eclipse, than the solar. The solar one is really more about bringing new things into your life. So, new moon manifestation list. You guys know the drill. You want to thank your angels, spirit guides, guardians for all the blessings that I have in my life. Then you want to go on and state what you would like to pull into your life. What would you like to manifest? Because remember, the moon is new, so it's called a dark moon, because if you look in the sky there, you can't see it. And then it builds in light as we go through the next 2 weeks. So during this next 2 weeks, you're going to pull new things into your life. And this is the start of a new 6-month cycle until at least November, December. So this is a really big time in manifestation to manifest something that you're looking for, whether it be a lover, a partner, husband or wife, whatever you want, money, abundance, gratitude, connection with God. I mean, whatever it is you want to do. I mean, I feel like that's just something you can do. Put it on your list. So if anybody has any questions about how you do that, and then you fold it up, okay, put it under your pillow and sleep with it in your pillow, the new moon manifestation list. Sleep with it in your pillow for the next 2 weeks. You're going to burn or destroy the list during the next full moon, which is actually going to be on June 24th, and that's going to be in Capricorn. Okay, that full moon's going to be in Capricorn. So all you Capricorns out there, be aware. Rita, you have your moon's in Capricorn, so that's going to be a full moon on your moon there. That's going to be a big one. Lori said Gemini in 5th house. So that's like Waleska. Okay, same thing. She has Gemini in the 5th house. Let's see. When it comes to men, yes, Wendy said when it comes to men, her picker is broken. Yes, it is on the 10th, so it's going to be on June 10th, 19 degrees Gemini, and the height of it, the peak of it is 6:53 a.m. I do want to answer the question because a lot of people ask this question. Nobody asked it on the chat, but if anybody has any questions about that, please shout out. When do I write my list? Well, as close to the date and time as possible of the peak, okay? I hear some astrologers say, don't write it before, write it after, and blah, blah, blah. I don't think it really matters. I think as long as you kind of do it on that morning or on that day even, I think that would be a good thing to remember, okay? But you want to kind of try to do it within at least, a few hours, 12 hours kind of at the most. Now, can you write it at any time? Technically, you can. I mean, of course. And especially, it's different on the new moon. You're really, each time you're building, and adding and building, okay? So you're making something bigger. Now, I told my hairdresser I was going to talk about this during the last time I had my hair appointment. So I'll talk about it again because it's some kind of a fun thing. So remember how we're building and adding things, okay? We're manifesting and we're bringing things in. The same goes for haircuts. Believe it or not, it was an ancient tradition to cut your hair according to the moon cycles. So if you want long hair and you're trying to grow your hair long, you want to cut it, get the hairstyle and the cutting between the new moon to the full moon, okay? Because remember, it's adding and growing and building and manifesting. Okay, so you want you want it to grow in even longer, right? So if you want to keep your length or add length to your hair, you want to cut it between the new moon and the full moon. If you want your hair to be short and you don't want to have as many haircuts, because if you have a shorter hairstyle, you have to keep getting it cut constantly. So if you want your hair to not be as long and you want to keep it so you don't have to go for haircuts as frequently, you want to cut it between the full moon and the new moon. Okay, so those are just the two guidelines. I think it's really fun, and I do think it's extra special if you can get an appointment during the moon in Leo. I think that is a fun thing. So I just wanted to add that because my hairdresser actually gets caught, and she didn't even know about the moon cycles, and she said, yeah, I get people every once in a while that call me and wanted to know if I can cut their hair according to the moon cycles, but she said, I don't even know anything about that. So I told her the general guideline. And yes, I plan my haircuts actually for between the new moon and the full moon. So because I like to grow it longer, try to get length in my hair. So anyway, so it's kind of a funny thing to do, but I do everything, because remember we can plant plants according to the moon cycle, animals mate according to the moon cycle, the tides change according to the moon cycle for sure. Okay, you can harvest according to the moon cycle. You can for sure cut your hair according to the moon cycle as well. We can do everything by the moon. It's kind of fun. All right, so literally you layer everything in life. Very important for songwriting. Yes, Hans, taking your experiences and using it in your art. I think that would be beautiful. I can't read this. Yes, Biden visits Tulsa for the anniversary of the destruction of the Black Wall Street in Canada. And Justin Trudeau, who I love, is honoring the lives. Justin Trudeau, by the way, is a Capricorn, and Biden is a Scorpio, is honoring the lives of First Nation discovered buried at orphanage. Wow. Okay. Well, that would be wonderful to look and see. Yeah, I haven't even looked at any of that stuff because I've been in the middle of my crazy hot water situation. So brother said, dear brother Light on Instagram said, used to write an abundance list. Yes, exactly. Putting it in a corner of your house. Well, this is similar. So this, you're going to sleep with it under your pillow for 2 weeks, burn or destroy it on the next full moon. So I hope everybody got that. This is, I actually like this one, and I think it's going to be extra powerful. We are going to get the additional energy between the sun and Mercury. So hopefully that'll help. And remember, it's very good songwriting. Somebody mentioned songwriting, oration, speaking, honoring, okay, and Archangel Zedekiel, okay, helping us to have the angel of mercy, okay, the angel of forgiveness, and the angel of memory, okay. So now another really good one for this week. The only thing about Gemini, so Gemini, by the way, is the arms, the shoulder, the elbow, the wrists, and the hands, okay, as far as the parts of your body. And importantly, it's the lungs, okay? So that's something that's really an important thing as far as the body goes. Another wonderful stone, I don't know if you guys can see this. This is kyanite. This is a blue kyanite. I was talking about blue howlite here. I was showing because the throat chakra is a blue color, so that would be very good to wear during this, super new moon. But kyanite, okay, is a wonderful stone for grounding. It is said to balance all of your chakras at one time. Pretty cool. And it's one of the rare stones that you don't need to cleanse, okay? The other one is actually citrine, that you don't need to cleanse, okay? These two, kyanite and citrine. But I cleanse mine anyway, just because, but it's a very grounding and soothing stone. If you have pain or if you have any kind of imbalance, this one's a really good one. But I'm thinking blue for Gemini, okay? But the downside to Gemini, and I love all you guys, I love all of you wonderful, beautiful Gemini, bright souls. The downside of Gemini is anxiety, kind of ADD, like being very scattered, okay, and potentially neurosis, like just sort of being a little neurotic. So that's when Gemini is ungrounded. Remember, it's all air. So the sun, the moon, and Mercury are all three are going to be in air, and it's a lot. Kyanite, Kyanite, I believe. It's KY, so that's kyanite. And so that's the somebody asked me how you spell it. Yes, the blue one aligns the chakras, correct. Yes. And somebody asked, how do you cleanse your stones? So I use sage, white sage, and I light the sage, and I will I'll give it like a smoke bath, okay, and let the sage go through the smoke. You can, of course, leave it outside to charge. This is a wonderful time. Eclipses are wonderful. Even though this is not a lunar eclipse, it's a solar eclipse, you can leave them outside to charge in the moonlight or in the sunlight. You can also, I wouldn't recommend it with kyanite. Kyanite, I don't know if you guys can, if it shows up on the camera, but it's very much kind of like slate. It's a very soft stone. Like if I really picked at it, I could probably pick a chunk of it off. It's a more soft stone, so you can't soak kyanite in salt water. But if it's a stone that's more like this one, that's very polished and sealed, you could soak it in salt water as well, and that also cleanses. So there's multiple ways to cleanse stones and charge stones, okay? You can even bury them in the yard. Please make sure you mark where you buried it, because you don't want to be like a squirrel and then forget, okay, and then next thing you know, there's a tree that grows because they forgot where the acorn was. If it's a piece of jewelry, you don't want to do that. Like I find it to be easier to use the sage, the smudge smoke, but I realize some people have asthma and other things that they can't burn sage. And if that's the case, then you want to go ahead, you can soak it in salt water, and I'll leave it overnight in salt water, like especially any kind of sealed, polished stone is fine. I do have black, so this is an unusual stone. I actually found this at a store at Rocky Mountain National Park in Colorado, but this is black kyanite and this is blue kyanite. You can see the difference there, but they're both very, like, if I dropped it and it hit the floor, it could actually break. So you don't ever really want to do anything like that with these types of soft stones. Like, for even as an example of my malachite here, this is too soft, it's unpolished, so you wouldn't want to do that. So I hope that helps. Selenite also. Selenite's the same thing. You don't want to get this wet, for sure. You don't want to get any, because it's a soft stone. Like I have broken these, they have fallen to the floor and they've broken. So so I wouldn't do that on a unpolished, okay? Do you recommend not charging stones during a full moon? No, I recommend charging stones. Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Full moon, lunar eclipse, absolutely. Eclipses, I would absolutely charge stones for sure. Anytime there's any kind of thing like this, new moon or full moon's going to give you more oomph, because obviously we can see the moonlight, But even a new moon, I think you can for sure gain, because even though it's dark in our sky, we're still gaining the energy. New moons can often be quite very powerful. So yeah, during an eclipse is fine. Absolutely. Yes. Because it's just rebooting, it's just charging, so I think it's wonderful. And yeah, sunlight. Kirsten said sunlight also. Absolutely. Yeah, charging it in sunlight. Again, these soft stones you want to watch. You don't want to really cook these. I treat these more with kid gloves. But yes, the harder polished stones, absolutely, you can do that sort of thing. Just know certain quartzes will fade in sunlight. So if you leave these, let's say on a windowsill, I don't have, I have some quartz type stones. These might fade if you do too long in the sun, so that might be a brief one. So anyway, so I'm going to move on, because on Friday, the 11th, Mars is going to be moving into Leo. Now, we had the last month and a half, Mars was in Cancer for about a month and a half or so. Now Mars is going to be moving into Leo. That's going to be at 9:34 a.m. Eastern time, so it's going to be getting out of Cancer. The reason I am glad about this is because Mars in Cancer, Mars is considered to be at its fall in Cancer, meaning that it's at its worst placement with Mars in Cancer. And I'm sorry, everybody that has Mars in Cancer out there, but that's not my rule. It's the sort of thing of astrology, because Cancer's the crab, and Cancer, you know, when you think about Mars, Mars is direct, powerful energy, and when it's in the sign of the crab is like, it makes it lose energy. So it's not as potent or powerful of a placement with Mars in Cancer. So now Mars is going to be moving in the sign of Leo, and it's going to be on June 11th all the way until July 29th. So about a month and a half or so, roughly. And all you Leos out there, all you fire signs out there, Aries, Sagittarius, okay, of course Leo, you're going to be feeling this. The only downside to this is that Mars will be forming an opposition during its time in Cancer. It'll be forming an opposition to Saturn, so that's going to be a bummer. But other than that, it's going to be very good. Mars in Leo. So Leo is the sign of the lion, and so hear me roar, okay? Leo is all about being entrepreneurial and being playing like a child, being heart-centered, okay, being more in our heart energy. Leo is all about being an entrepreneur, so if you are an entrepreneur, this maybe is going to be a good time for you. But Leo is much more action-oriented. It's a fire sign, and so it's definitely a little bit more direct and a little bit more, it can be a little bit more aggressive. But that Mars in Cancer tends to be indirect and passive aggressive. So that's not what we want. We want a more direct Mars. So Mars helps us to go, helps us to have drive, ambition, motivation, go, 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 go. And that's our Mars. So we're going to have another month and a half of Mars in Leo. And I'll be posting about that. Now, on Sunday, we get into some tricky energy, and I'm going to be talking more about this next week, but I want to give you guys the heads up because you guys are great. You're hanging in there with my videos and talking and posting and reposting and liking and sharing. By the way, if you haven't liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. But the Sun is going to form a square with Neptune on Sunday, the 13th. Venus is going to form a sextile with Uranus, but the next day, which is really the big news, the big honkin' big news, is that we're about to have our second Saturn square Uranus transit at 6 p.m. on Monday, the 14th. Oh, thank you. Thumbs up. Thank you. That's really going to be, that's like the big thing. So how do I say this? So on Sunday, Saturday and Sunday, we'll just say, there's some weird energy. That's a weird combination of energy with the Sun square Neptune. That's like lies, illusion, delusion, can be drugs and alcohol or addiction. Combined with that Venus sextile Uranus, that's weird, wonky kind of combination, because on one hand, Venus and Uranus talk about like having maybe a broken picker. That one is definitely about trying something new and dating somebody that's different and going outside the box in our love life. And kind of, I'm going to use the word sort of like a little bit like crazy energy, like that's a little different or unique or unusual, but that can also be a little different, just like crazy sort of different. Like sometimes it's different and it's fun different, and sometimes it's cray different. So there's that, but then that's combined with this Sun square Neptune. That's a little messed up. I'm sorry to say that, but that's going to be, I think, a little bit different. Like it's almost like somebody going out with somebody that's new and different. Okay, like let's say you're trying to go outside of your type, right? And you're going to date someone that's totally different, And so you go for this person and you're like, oh, that's different and that's different and that's different. That's not my cup of tea or my bag, but I'll just stick with it. And here you find out it's not different. It's just a little cray-cray. It's a little, the person's a little like out there. And here you are trying something new and taking a chance and doing, that's kind of what this energy is like. It's a very strange combination, I'll just say. And when we get these planetary strange combinations, we can feel it. It's like we'll feel like in a bunch of, like, we'll feel conflicted and we'll feel kind of weird or wonky. Hopefully the positive side of this is if you're a creative person, if you do songwriting like Hans, or if you do pottery, or if you plant things in the garden, or I don't know, any kind of like creative, making a beautiful dish, that would be what this energy is good for. But I don't know, it's almost like somebody like lying, or just be careful this weekend. Like, you don't want to sign on the dotted line. Plus, anyway, it's Mercury retrograde. Don't sign on the dotted line. And then the next day, the Saturn square Uranus thing, I wrote extensively about that on my Facebook and Instagram posts and LinkedIn posts. So if you guys saw the post from today, but this is that change-making energy that we are experiencing all of 2021, okay? And the peak of it, the height of it, the second pinnacle of it is Monday. Saturn square Uranus. The last time that happened, when Saturn was in Aquarius and Uranus was in Taurus and they squared each other, was 1522, okay? A long time ago. The last time they actually squared each other was like, I think it was 1976, okay? But when they specifically squared each other as Aquarius and Taurus, this is the energy I was talking about in the beginning of the year when I was saying that there was going to be like a lot of internet stuff. There was going to be a lot of, I don't know, kind of like technology breakthroughs and breakthroughs in science and all these kind of cool things, but it was going to also come at some kind of a price. Like there was going to be a lot of protests, a lot of like, so it was going to be driving a lot of like social awareness and inclusion, okay, like kind of breaking down of the old way of kind of seeing things. So that's the good thing, but the problem is it could be bumpy. While we're breaking down the old and building the new, I would definitely tell you guys, read the post from today, like the post, read the post from today, but it kind of went over what this energy is about. And I'm going to get a deep dive into it next week. We'll be talking about that as well. But this is like the stuff that's changing. It's like the change maker. It's changing the times that we're in now. So it's like all the old stuff that we had from 2020 is now coming to play. So yeah, Monica said, strange energy that hasn't been here in 600 years. Oh, just that. Lori asked when Mercury was going direct again. It's going to be on June 22nd at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So everybody's going to write that on your calendar, okay? Brother Light said, eek. Yes, I mean, it's kind of like crazy energy that we're having. But it's like, it's kind of like the 1960s, you know, it's about like kind of like how, you know, it was like Black Panthers and flower power and like, you know, Vietnam War man and like peace, love, and happiness. It's like kind of like that energy that we're going to be going through. And yeah, it's a change, and we're changing and we're breaking things down, and it's not light and fluffy stuff that we're dealing with, these big planetary things in the times that we are living in. It's like we went from all that 2020 energy to the 2021 energy, and then there's more coming in 2022. Okay, let's do cards. Okay, so what does everybody need to know? What do you all want to know? I only have time to take one or two questions tonight because I really had a lot to cover there. But Archangel Zedekiel, just to remind ourselves that we're going to be, it's memory, it's mercy, it's forgiveness. Now, somebody said something about Kuan Yin. Yeah, I mean, Kuan Yin is also, but she's not an archangel. This is the archangel that is associated with Gemini. And that's basically compassion, okay? Have compassion with yourself, have compassion with others. Zedekiel is also about teaching and learning. If you think of Gemini, yeah, it's studying. You got to remember, you got to memorize things. By the way, if you love memorizing things, you should be an astrologer, because memorizing things is my forte, okay? Keep an open mind, learn new things, then teach these ideas to others. That's teaching and learning, is Archangel Zedekiel. So yeah, definitely. Clairaudience is also Archangel Zedekiel. Beautiful cards here, huh? Doreen Virtue. Notice the loving guidance you hear inside your mind and from other people. That's Archangel Zedekiel. Because remember, it's talking, communicating, and listening. Okay. So yeah. So Wendy said, how's my brother doing? I don't know. He's been angry at you for 4 years. I'm being drawn to pull this other deck, Wendy. So I'll tap into the energy of Wendy's brother. Okay, what does Wendy's need to know about her relationship with her brother? There's not much going on there, girl. Hermit card. Which means I don't know that you'll hear from him anytime soon. I'm sorry to say that, Wendy, but there's going to be a longer period of time, at least in the immediate. These cards are not forever, by the way. They don't predict forever, okay? It's just in the time being, it's still much of the same, Wendy. So I'm sorry to say that. But it looks like, it'll keep going on, unfortunately. Lori asks, can I pull a card for career path? Yes, I can, Lori. I hope that helps, Wendy. I'm sorry. It's kind of much of the same. All right. So, Lori, what does Lori need to know about her career path? What are her angel, spirit guides, and guardians trying to tell her? What's the most important thing? Motivation, my dear. Motivation. That was the card you got. Motivation. Pray for guidance as to how to increase your enthusiasm for and focus on this project. Okay. I will say this, Lori. I don't feel like you're unmotivated necessarily. I feel like, okay. Oh, very interesting, Lori. Okay, this is what I'm getting. I feel like as if, so I feel like you're very motivated, but you know how sometimes, like, let's say, for example, you have to do your taxes, and all of a sudden it's like, well, I also have to clean out my closet, and I have to wash the dishes. Oh, and I've been putting off vacuuming, so I'm going to vacuum, and I'm going to do all these other things, but pay my taxes or figure out my taxes, right? So, Lori, that's going to be, I feel like you're motivated, but I almost feel like you're kind of doing everything else but the thing you should be doing. Speeches and speaking, Lori, you're also getting that card. You have important messages here that you're meant to deliver to help others. Sometimes that can even be a sales pitch. That can be social media. This can be all kinds of things when it comes to like this Gemini energy, actually. This blue communication. Maybe you have to have a difficult conversation with somebody. Whatever that case is, you need to kind of slay your dragon. Okay, that's kind of what I feel. Is like it's like you're doing everything else but the very thing. Yeah, procrastinating. Exactly, girl. It's like you have to do the thing that you're putting off, because otherwise you're not making any progress. However, I will give you a break. Mercury is retrograde right now, so it is kind of the time to dust off the shelves and put away all your files and things like that. But I don't want you to procrastinate too much longer past Mercury retrograde, because you have to have a difficult conversation. You have to speak. You have to communicate. You have to do something with this. You have to get on it, in other words. So I hope that helps, Lori. Hey, Kim. Wow, I haven't heard from you in a while. Super successful badass Kim is awesome on Instagram. She is a really cool person. She owns her own landscaping company, and she is kick-ass at it. I just have to give you a plug there, girl. So yes, Lori, hope that helps. Wants to know about relationships. So let's see what's going on with Kim and the relationship. What does she need to know? What is the deal with this relationship? I'm going to switch decks here, girl, because I feel like you're welcome. If you live in the South, North Carolina area, you got to call Kim for your lawn care. Okay, let's see. What do we need to know about Kim and her relationship? What do we need to know about Kim? Yikes, girl. You got the Hermit card on that one. Uh-oh. Well, first of all, you're inspired. What I'm feeling, I happen to know that you like to travel, although this is your time of year that you're usually not traveling, but this is the World card, so this is traveling, but it's also an ending, like completion, wrapping up, finishing. It's also the card of when a door closes, a window opens. You ever hear that expression, when one door closes, another door opens, or a window opens? Whatever you're being inspired to do in reference to this relationship question, I think that's good. I think that you're being inspired, but this is telling me there's something, I don't know, you're feeling, either you're literally neglected, like you broke up, or you haven't heard from the person, or you're feeling that way, okay? Because the Hermit card is often feeling cut off, or you're like, it's almost like you're kind of doing your thing, he's doing his thing, we don't know what's happening here. Focusing on money, which is not bad, but I mean, like, it's like kind of like I'm not getting any love cards here right now. Not to say that you don't love each other, but it's just to say that, like, it's kind of crickets are chirping. So I'm sorry to give you that message. But I feel like you are kind of inspired to maybe, I don't know why, I feel like it has something to do with travel. I think that's because of this World card. World is literally the travel card, okay? Whatever you're inspired to do, going away, or, you know, kind of blowing the cobwebs out, but I feel very much like there's an autonomous feeling of, like, you're doing your thing, they're doing his thing, everybody's doing their own thing, nobody's like kind of meeting, so you might feel like you're the only one in the relationship, or putting time and effort, energy into things. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I feel like I would follow your gut, because I feel like you're inspired to travel, and I think you should do that. But unfortunately, I don't know why. I feel like you're both on two different pages. I for sure would be using rose quartz. That's love and self-love. I have my rose quartz on here. I have my rose quartz on here. I have fluorite with a little bit of fluorite. So I don't know if that resonates with you, Kim. I haven't heard from you. So, but I hope that helps. But I would use some rose quartz, because I feel like you need to, like, I almost feel like there needs to be an igniting of love, okay, back into this relationship. I almost feel like I want to give it CPR or something. I'm sorry. That sounds rough. Hey, Kristen. How you doing? Okay. Well, that's all I have for tonight. I'm run way over, but I do want to pull one collective card, one card for all of us. What do we need to know who's watching it, either tonight live, or on the pre-recorded, or on any of this other stuff, okay? The ways that we all can watch these things, okay? But I'm going to ask, what do the angels need us to know? Yes, Aventurine would be a good one too, Brother Light. Thank you. Yeah, you've been working on it for 4 years. Yes, you have. I mean, you're giving it your all. But I just still feel like there's too much of, like, hey, you must like that though. There must be a little piece of you that likes that, that independence. You like that independence and freedom. So many ups and downs. I know. Okay. What do we all need to know? For this week coming up, for the solar eclipse, new moon, Gemini, Mars moving into Leo, Saturn Uranus square coming on Monday. There's a lot of energy here. What do we all need to know? Okay, I'm going to pull my card. What do we all need to know collectively? There you go. Choose peace, my friends. Choose peace. Choose peace. Whew. Choose peace. Here we go. Big old rose quartz. Choose peace. Okay, I'm going to read it. Archangel Chamuel. Peace comes from remembering that only love is real. Sometimes when we hear our voice inside of our head, it's an inner critic voice, or it's a voice of fear. Remember that only love is real. Okay? Only love is real. And that sometimes we choose these situations, or we end up in these situations that are kind of like crazy making situations, or when we're going into a job, or we're going into a thing. Just know that if it doesn't feel peaceful, if it's not peaceful in your heart, don't do it. Okay, I know a couple people on here tonight said they had broken pickers, or that they were picking the wrong partner, or partners were the relationship. I mean, look, I've had that in my own life too. I'm not going to say that I haven't. But I feel like when we pick the love and that peacefulness, real love, when you love someone else, they love you, it's usually not a big question mark. Usually it's like, yeah, they're here. They came, they sat down, they haven't left. Like, usually that's what the deal is. So I'll just tell you, choose peace, okay? That's usually always going to put you in the right, if it's a tortured situation, even if it's a job, okay, question. If it feels tortured, well, I want to do this, but they want to do this, and I have to do that. It's not the right situation usually, okay? If the right situation usually brings peace in the body. It makes you feel easy, like whatever, and then lean into that, okay? Lean into that. That's usually the right scenario, whether it be a job, whether it be a friendship, whether it be a romantic partner, whether it be whatever it is, whatever life choice you have to make, pick the one that goes, say, go towards the peace, go towards the love. And she has a beautiful peace symbol, which is the dove, okay, white dove. By the way, if you say a prayer and you want to know about peace, if it's the right situation, ask to receive a white feather, okay? And that will be your answer. You'll get a white feather that comes out of the sky, or is in your lawn, or crossed your path in some way. Ask, if you want to ask your angels a question, angels, what should I do? You know, in reference, is this the right thing for me to do? Show me a feather, and they'll send you, okay, a beautiful white feather. Make sure you guys manifest. Use this powerful time to manifest, okay? Remember, there's a lot of change. 2021 has a lot of change. But I will just say, this Thursday, we got a super moon, new moon, powerful moon, okay? So I feel really strongly like we need to have that change. We need to have that beautiful energy. So go ahead and do your new moon manifestation list, especially this month, because this is a power. This new moon is a power moon. Okay? All right, everybody. Lots of love. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you all for joining. If you want to have a personalized astrological session, I'm sorry I gotten backed up with all of my explosive, crazy energy with all of my appliances and Mercury retrograde. But please have patience with me. Send me a direct text or send me a DM, and I will try to get back. And go ahead, don't be shy. Don't feel like you're bothering me. Just say, checking back in again with you, Gretchen, because I had gotten really overwhelmed with all that. So lovely seeing all of you. Have a wonderful night. Happy manifesting.